how you guys doing? As a lot of you guys know, we're fixing to head out to Hogwaller and go to Super Bog this upcoming weekend. So we're going to take y'all through a little bit of the stuff that we've got to do in order to get prepared for that. So step one on that list is get the oil changed in the tow pig and get her ready to go. So we'll get right back on that. So as you can tell, if you're a littler feller, kind of like myself, and you got big old 35s on your truck, you can fit under this sun gun without a jack, and makes this whole process a lot easier. But you want to come here to this bolt right here on the bottom of your oil pan, and it's just a 1/2 inch socket. First, you want to make sure you're going the right way where you ratchet. Then you just want to, well, I'm gonna have 2 hands to break this loose, I think. Yep, hang on. To the knucklehead that tightened this bolt on last, definitely wasn't me. He did way too good of a job and put that on way too tight. It don't need to be that tight, fellas. Just got to be snug. Oh, still didn't get it wet. We good. Ta-da. I gotta watch that, guys. I can't be talking like that on YouTube. Trying to get better about it. But yeah, you just want to let all that drain, and you can actually pop the hood and open the top where you fill it up at, and it'll drain a little bit quicker. But after this gets drained, we're gonna go up in here and grab the oil filter. All right, so once it's dripping out there like that, you can go ahead and take your bolt and you can slap it back in. This is so you don't forget that step later. That would be bad. And you don't have to put that on super tight. Just get your ratchet and snug it back on there. You'll move your oil pan over here. And then this is where it gets a little tricky, because this filter is not in a spot where it wants to be grabbed. So, as you can tell, that joker's up in there. And you have to bend in and around all this crap to get it. So this is where it gets fun. So actually what a lot of people like to do right here is go ahead and stab a hole in this with a screwdriver or something to kind of drain the oil out of it. But I don't do that. I just make a mess. So I just do this right here out, and as you can see, we're already throwing oil all over that front diff, but that's fine. It's really gonna come once I get the see, and I'm gonna have to edit that part out because I just said a dirty word and I can't be dirty wording it on YouTube. Sorry guys, I'm gonna get better at that. I've been working on it myself, and I feel like YouTube's gonna kind of help me become a better person in that aspect, because I do want to stop cussing so much. I do have a little bit of a problem, but it's just when stupid stuff like that happens, I mean, like, you can't help it but want to, because I mean, look at that. Now I gotta get brake cleaner and clean all that up and all that other good junk. Ugh. You put your new filter on, you want to get your old filter and pretty much just take this old oil and dump it in it, and then get you a little bit on your finger, rub it around that rubber ring on it, and then screw it up in there. And please, 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 please do not over tighten your oil filter. It just has to be hand tight. Just snug it up. But once you get that and you tighten the bolt back on the bottom of your oil pan, then you can come in the truck and pop the hood. At this point, we're ready to put oil back in it. Now, I don't know how much oil you guys' vehicle holds, but this big son of it holds 7 quarts. So we're gonna be here a minute. This is my favorite part. I'm not quite tall enough to stand anywhere and fill this joker up. Cause I just a little short boy. I mean, I'm only 5'10", guys. I mean, don't come for me too hard in the comments. You know, y'all don't come for me too hard. Dang it. There's about 3 quarts in this one, so it'll take the whole thing. Alright guys, that was the first tote. Alright, so that first bottle we used had 3 quarts of oil in it. We need 7. This one's got 5 in it, but I dumped a quart out into that old bottle, so we'll use this whole bottle here. Alright, can we do this? No, we're not even gonna try. Bam! Right there, and you don't get oil everywhere. Go ahead and stick that cap back on. Make sure it's on there nice and snug. And then pull your dipstick and wipe it off. Get all that old junk off there. That sun gun, kind of wonky. She's good, boys. That's what you want to see. You plug her back on there. And then don't forget to get back in your vehicle, whichever one you may have, and reset your oil life, reset the trip, and all that good stuff. And if you're like me, make sure you add it in your little maintenance book for your vehicle. Personally, I keep a little book, and anytime I do anything to this vehicle, I write it down in there. I write how much it cost me. I write the date and all that good stuff, and I try to keep up with the receipts if I can. And what that helps me do is when I go to resell the thing, I can sit down with the person that's buying it and say, hey, look, I've done all of this to it on these dates. So then he gets a better idea of how much I actually use the truck, how often I was doing maintenance on it, and all that kind of good stuff. And it gives him a better overall feel of the purchase. And I don't know, it was something I had seen old people doing when I was growing up, and it was something I just caught on to, and I liked it a lot. I do it with the Honda too. Pretty much anything that I have with an engine on it, if I do any kind of maintenance on it, I keep up with it somewhere so I can go back and look on that later. Right now that we've got the oil changed in the truck, we are going to switch over to the Honda. We're going to change the oil in it. We're going to change the rear and the front diff fluid in it. And she'll be ready. I'm going to head over to my buddy Cole's house here in a little bit and go pick up the toy hauler and everything like that. And then I'm going to walk you guys through it and show y'all what it looks like and kind of what our setup of 2025 is going to look like. We're really excited, guys, if you can't tell. I mean, we're like, I don't know. We're going to do some big things this year, and y'all guys just stay with me and keep liking these videos and keep viewing them and everything like that, and I promise we're going to do some big things. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see down in the comments. I'm open to suggestions. If you guys got some video ideas, some stuff y'all want to see, shoot me a message, man. Let's get together. Let's come up with some stuff, guys. So I've decided we're going to start with the diffs because they're easier to change because I don't have to actually get up and underneath the four-wheeler. So to drain the oil out of your rear diff, there's a 10mm bolt right up under here. You just want to take it out, and as you take it out, go ahead and take this top bolt out so it'll drain quicker. This top bolt up here is a 17mm, and this one down here is a 10. So what I like to do is first find it. And it's a lot easier if you just get under there and look, but I'm too lazy. I'd rather make it more difficult on myself. But, and I should have put that extension on there so I don't get this crap all over my hands. Yeah, she's still a little milky. That's not the best looking in the world. So we'll have to kind of watch that, or we'll be needing a new rear end soon. But it looks better than it did the last time I drained it, I'll tell you that much. Of what you can do next here to quote unquote flush it. What the correct way to flush it would be to fill it back up, crank it, put it in gear, drive it around a second, and then drain it, so that way it shifts around. But I'm lazy, so what I do is I just pour fluid in it and let it drain out of the bottom until I start seeing a color I like, and then I let it fill up from there. So for instance, we'll take this and we'll just shove it off in there, see about what color we're getting. And I mean, it's cleared back up a little bit. I mean, it don't look terrible. That's not the best. I've seen better, but it's good enough for me. Now I can already see it now. Some of you guys are gonna have questions. What about greasing the rear ends? What do you think about packing them full of grease? This, that, and the third. Here's my opinion on packing it full of grease. If your seals are already going bad and you're already leaking diff fluid and everything like that, I would pack it full of grease. Personally, I don't like to pack it full of grease until I start having problems, for a couple of reasons. A, if you don't pay attention to how much you grease it, you will blow out the seals in your bearings, so it's gonna really be leaking anyways. And grease traps dirt and grime and stuff like that, so it'll get built up inside the rear end and it'll eat your teeth. So, and that grease is also a lot harder to flush out of there. I mean, you'll never really get it all out of there unless you take the diff completely apart, and I'm not doing that. So it's all a preference thing. Now, I've done it in the past. I've put grease in rear ends. I've done it. I don't think they perform any differently. I mean, I don't think one's better over the other, in my personal opinion. Now, there'll be people that'll argue. There'll be people tell you different, but. So, after you get it all drained out, you're gonna put that 10mm bolt back on the bottom. Get your ratchet back. Don't forget to actually flip it over to tighten it. And you ain't gotta go super Hulk on this bolt or you'll break it. You'll have fun then. You just gotta get it back on there. Just gotta get it snugged up. You ain't gotta overdo it. Now there's a bolt right here on the side. I'm tightening it. But you wanna go ahead and take it loose. You wanna go ahead and pull it off. And what this is gonna do is tell us when our diff is full of fluid again. So what we'll do is we'll just dump. We'll dump. We'll dump. And all right, it's starting to run out, so then we'll plug it. And go ahead and put a little more. And then snug back down on that check bolt, or on that fill bolt. And like I said, just like the bottom one, it ain't gotta be stupid tight, just gotta be snug. Once you get that one back on, you put the top plug back on it. Same thing with this one. Now that one's that big bolt on top is a lot harder to actually break that cap than them other bolts are. You can actually break them other bolts pretty easy. But again, that one just has to be snug, doesn't have to be super tight. I mean, and honestly, if you ride your Honda like most Honda riders do, you're going to be back here doing this a lot anyways. So it's not like you're worried about it coming loose and leaking and all that good stuff. Just snug it up and she'll ride. So that's front diff. I mean, that's the rear diff. We'll move on to the front. And like I said, I mean, look, when I started that whole change out process right there, I had a half a bottle of this gear oil. Now I like to use 75 W90. All that really doesn't matter. The main thing you're looking for is a hypoid oil. If it's not a hypoid, it's not going to work well. That's what these rear ends call for. That's what they're going to need. So just go on and get it. This stuff's like, I think I paid like 12 to 16 bucks a bottle for this at O'Reilly's. I usually keep 8 of them on me because, like I said, I mean, you can do your front and rear diff with a bottle of this, and if you don't have to flush them, you can probably do it twice with a bottle of this. So there's a 10mm bolt underneath here you'll take to drain everything out of it, and then I don't worry about finding the check bolt on the front diff because with it being on the side, it's already pretty much of a pain to kind of fill up. And like I said, I mean, you know that it doesn't take a whole lot of oil anyways for these to be good. Okay, for the ones of you that wanted to see me change the front fluid, you're just gonna have to wait till the next one. I thought I was recording and it turns out I wasn't. But in order to get the fluid back in this one, if your control arm guards are still in, you've got to use a funnel, but that's fine. You piss it down the side of it, and the only thing that sucks about doing it like this is you have to do it kind of slow, or you'll start pouring it out the bottom of the diff, or out of the side of the diff, and then that ain't no count. And just like that, she's put back together. Take time to wipe that oil off your diffs and stuff like that. You don't want that nasty stuff everywhere. You got to take this bolt out right here. Oh yeah, how many Hondas you see drain like that, huh? How many Hondas you see with that color oil? You can't name 5 of them right now. But anyway, you just want to take that bolt out and let it drain. And I mean, it's only 3 quarts, so I just lay here on the ground while it drains, holding the bolt in my hand. And then when it stops, I just plug it back in, be done with it, and I'll have to climb back under here. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the color of that oil. I did not think it was going to be that black. I mean, I didn't have any hopes for it to be that black. Wow. All right then. So anyways, you guys, we're closing up on the end of this video. I appreciate the ones that are still here watching, listening to me yap, watching this nonsense. But I hope this helps y'all service y'all's Honda. And if you have any questions about them, you know, ask me in the comments, man. I don't know everything, but I got Google and I got buddies that know stuff. Man, if I don't know it, I guarantee you I know somebody who does. We'll get it figured out. All right, once it's dripping like that, it's pretty fine. Unless you've got a problem with, I mean, unless it was milky or something, you want to go ahead and drain it all the way, or if you plan on flushing it, let it drain all the way. But I don't plan on doing either of those things here. I'm just gonna change the oil filter and put new oil in it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plug that back up. And then just like on your truck, guys, this bolt doesn't have to be stupid tight. Just snug it up. And then what you want to do, please wipe all that up. I failed to realize is, I don't know where my 8mm socket went. So it looks like we're gonna be getting the oil filter off the old-fashioned way with a good old wrench. Oh. Oh, yay! Wrench is now in there. Ah. Put my oil pan back where it goes. Alright, back to business. Ow! I mean, you can do it with a wrench. It's a lot easier with a socket. You can get it done. You just gotta have a little bit of will and a little bit of determination. Now, if you're not careful, if you don't know what you're doing here, there is a spring in here. This cap is spring loaded and it will pop out at you. So what I like to do, go ahead and lay them down. Hey, there we go. That's what I like to see. All right. Then we'll take that out. Now, if you guys are, you know, having second thoughts about doing this at home, you don't feel confident in it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this stuff is so easy, man. I mean, and this cap right here, I mean, there's only one way that it goes back on. I mean, you can't screw it up. Everything you take off, you just put it back on the same way. Don't be scared to try new stuff, guys. Ooh, yeah. I'd say it was time for a new filter. I'd say so. So, dump that off in there. Now, if that O-ring's still good, we won't replace it. I have to pull the O-ring. It looks fine, but the moment I don't do it, I should have done it, and I'll be mad at myself for not doing it. So this flat piece goes towards the back. That rubber bushing goes towards the front. It'll sit in there just like that. Just like that. It goes off the same way you took it off. It goes back on the same way you took it off. So if you got a good suction cup fit like that, that's when you know your O-ring's good. And back to the old wrench. Now don't snug one side up real tight without getting them all snugged up first. You'll pull it at an odd angle. You don't want to do that. And these are just like the bolts anywhere else. You ain't got to be super tight on them. They just got to be snug at pressure, and everything else will hold it on there. Wipe everything up, get you some brake clean, and spray that off. There's my snorkel, kind of give you an idea how it's ran. If y'all guys want a video on how that snorkel's done, let me know and I'll get one of those dropped. It's pretty simple. But yeah, so now we'll go to the other side and fill her back up with oil. All right, so this part's pretty simple. You just obviously take the plug off, oil in the hole. Holds about 3.5 quarts. All right guys, that's all for the video. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you're still here, comment your favorite part of the video and tell me what color you think we should change the plastics on the bike. I really appreciate the support from you guys. We're almost to 200 subs. So you guys keep smashing that sub button, keep smashing the like button, and we're gonna keep doing big things. I'm gonna go pick up the toy hauler now, and
I'm going to do a different video on it, kind of walking y'all through it and how we're going to set it up and everything like that. I'm going to do its own video on it. So that'll wrap up this one. Thank you guys. Be back for more.